Hi friends and new friends, I'm Tao of Satoshi, and you're watching Cash Alternative TV. To really succeed in bringing an unheard technology into a new culture and language takes a unique type of personality. You have to be patient, positive, informative, and trustworthy to really earn the respect of your audience. My guest today excels in his role of bringing Latin America into Dash Nation in a fun but educational way. Today I talk with Edward Stoever, the creator of the Spanish gaming website dash.red. So is Dash really blue or is it red? Let's find out now. Welcome to the show, Edward.
Thank you very much, Tao.
I'm happy to have you on because we have a lot in common. We're both YouTubers. Our wives are both Spanish and we're both really into Dash, so this should be a good interview. Why don't you give the viewers an indication of who you are and how you came into digital currency?
Okay, my name is Edward, and how did I come into digital currency? And who am I? Well, let's start with who am I? Have been working in computer systems for about the past 20 years. I started in Argentina. Many years ago. I had a small business there where we sold long-distance communications, telephone communications back in the 1990s. And that's how I got started with computers, because that's obviously a very intense business related to computing. Then we moved to the United States in the year 2000, and I lived in Southern California for about 10 years, and continued working in the computer field. I worked mainly on databases for universities, starting out as a DBA for a university, and then I moved into a company that was called at the time SunGard Higher Education. And then I stayed with that job until this year, and I quit that job at the end of July of 2017. And started working full-time for Dash. Now I got started in cryptocurrencies, I guess we could say, as an investor in Bitcoin. Must have been 5 years ago now, maybe 6. I'm not even keeping track anymore, but started with that. And about 2 years ago, I was beginning to see cracks in the foundation of Bitcoin, especially with transactions being ridiculously slow and not confirming. And if the entire reason for having a coin is so you can make transactions, of course that's the reason of having a coin. If it can't make transactions, then what good is it? It's got to be able to make the transactions, otherwise forget it. And I don't just invest because I want to make money. I invest because I believe in a project. And at that time, this is coming up on 2 years ago now, it's about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, Amanda B. Johnson was talking about Dash as something that she really preferred as, a cryptocurrency, and she found a way to switch from the daily decrypt to the Dash detailed show that she was doing at that time. And I was thinking, wow, this is fascinating. She really got me interested. So I used Shapeshift to switch from Ethereum to Dash. And the reason, of course, was it was the only place that that trading pair existed. Otherwise, I'd have to go through Bitcoin. So I just, to heck with that, and I just switched it using Shapeshift. And so that's how I got into Dash. This is already coming up on 2 years ago. And yeah, what can I say? Great community, absolutely spectacular community. And you can make transactions all day long, and they go through every time, and they cost almost nothing if they cost anything at all. So I love Dash.
I think Amanda B. Johnson has done an excellent job of representing Dash and bringing people involved in the community, joining Dash Nation, yourself included. So we're very thankful to her for all their efforts, and hopefully she's very successful in her new proposal. But yeah, so What do you think about the Dash as far as the technology and the community go? Like you find it's aligned with your visions?
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting how, looking back at the people that I've met, especially through YouTube, how many of them were gold and silver bugs and got into Dash. Because I mean, well, of course, Bitcoin. Let's start with that. I mean, absolutely. 5 years ago, the gold and silver bugs were definitely into Bitcoin. And now some of them weren't. There's always an exception to that, but many of them, found that it was something that they believed in. Dash has done everything it can to stay in line with the original Satoshi white paper. And of course, as a silver bug, which I happen to be, it seems kind of natural that I would go with Dash too. I mean, it's just another way I'm thinking, yeah, this is just lining up perfectly for me. So definitely, I love Dash. The technology is just right. The fact that there's a voting mechanism to decide things, including proposals, which, a budgeting system, which dash.red, I should show my shirt. There it is.
Oh yeah, nice.
Dash.red is benefiting from the budgeting system that Dash has. We have the ability to pay it's ridiculously large amount of money per month to fund different proposals, and it's great. I'm very pleased with it overall.
Yeah, what's getting scary when you mentioned the budgeting proposal, like we probably have more money right now than we know how to spend, which is a good problem to have. But
definitely.
Can you imagine how it's going to be later when we have like billions of dollars a month to spend? Like it's going to be crazy. Like how are we going to scale properly with this? This is one thing I always wonder. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, we want to be relatively realistic in how big the budget could get. But I think in 365 days from today, I don't think it would be unreasonable to see a budget that's 10 times what it is now. And I think right now it's about $4 million. So it could be $40 million in 1 year. And I know some people are going to say, come on, Dash isn't going to be times what it is now. That would be $10,000 one coin. Okay, well, a year ago it was $10, and now it's $1,000 almost. It's almost 100 times what it was just a year ago. And the other thing that blows my mind, I know you saw this tweet that I did a couple of weeks back. 1 year ago, October, which is already about 14 months ago, Paola and I did a video on YouTube saying we will give anybody who wants to make a video with us through this type of a chat, like a Google Hangout. Anybody who wants to make a video like that with us, we will give them one Dash, and in the video we'll send them one Dash. And we left it up as open to anybody who contacted us for 3 months.
Wow.
And nobody contacted us. Huh. Not one.
Wow. Zero. I bet they're kicking themselves now.
Yes. And so I closed that, and about 2 months after I closed it, which was probably in February, somebody contacted me and said, oh, can you send me one Dash? Many people started asking, but the first person who asked, I said, yes, I will send you the equivalent, roughly the equivalent of what it was. I sent him, I think, $20 a Dash at the time. I don't even remember how much it is, but the video's on our YouTube channel. So yeah, I mean, somebody took advantage of it, and they've certainly, if they've kept that Dash, they've done very well.
Yes, for sure.
So
yeah, Evan, go ahead.
It's just amazing. Just if you project out and you think, could the budget be $1 billion? Well, maybe in 10 years, I don't see why it couldn't be. But even just a year from now, my goodness, the budget's going to be a huge, huge amount. Huge.
Yeah, and this is people that are outside of Dash Nation. They don't understand how it works. Like how we have the proposals, and we're adding value every time we do a proposal, and then the following month we have more money because of the interest generated from that proposal. It's that virtuous cycle that keeps getting created. And
Yeah, it's viral.
yeah, and it's like Ryan Taylor said in Phoenix this year. He said, you know, it's inevitable. You know, just the way that Dash is set up. So like it's really scary the way it's working. But you know, people like you are taking advantage of it. You have a proposal, but before we get to the proposal, I want to talk about your YouTube experience, because you're a YouTuber like me. Can you go through like your early days of YouTubing and up to this point?
I have been YouTubing probably for about 10 years now. I started on a channel called Database Expert. And the funny thing was, I originally conceived the channel as, oh, I'm going to make videos teaching people how to do things on the database. And I don't think I ever did. I just made videos about other things like geocaching and just different little moments of my life. There's probably 300 or 400 videos on that channel. And about a year and a half ago, we got the domain name dash.red. And I thought, man, how lucky we are to have a domain that is that cool. Because I personally think it's the coolest domain ever. It's dash.red. I mean, come on, it's only 8 letters. It's incredible.
So for the viewers that might not understand what dash.red is and the significance in Spanish, can you explain that to them?
Right, because I think most people who speak English understand .net. Of course, we understand .com, right? And many of us have seen .net. Well, in Spanish, .red is .net. And of course, in English, it's a color. It's a very nice color, .red. And it's only 3 letters. Oh my gosh. So when we got that name, I started the dash.red channel. And I don't think anybody realized that we were going to create a website called dash.red at that time. We started working very, very hard on the website in about September of 2016. And we had a pretty good idea of what we wanted it to be. And it turned out to be almost exactly what we wanted it to be, which is pretty good, especially considering that when we started, we didn't know who was going to provide us with the games. And we found a provider in Italy. And in fact, we were so taken with their work and with the games, and the quality is just fantastic. We were able to integrate them with the database relatively easy. In fact, I had more difficulty integrating the games into the theme of the WordPress, because you know WordPress comes in themes, and so we had a theme installed, and just getting it to work in the theme just right was more work than integrating the games with the database. So, but anyway, it all worked out really well, and we were so pleased with them that in I believe it was April of this year, we went to Italy to okay, it was vacation, but we went there to thank them and to meet them and to work with them. And out of that meeting came the CAPTCHA that we have now. I don't know if people have seen the CAPTCHA, but if they go to our website and they play the games, they know what the CAPTCHA is. There's a little math professor that pops up, and you have to wait 10 seconds. And while you wait, you can see a banner that talks about dash.red is funded by the Dash community. And so the professor then tells or shows something, writes something on the board, and it's a math problem. It's very simple to solve, but you have to click the right solution, the right digit, and then you can continue playing the games. So that actually was created specifically for us by our game provider, which is Code This Lab of Italy. And we're really proud of them. They did a great job. So.
Okay, so I remember watching that video of yours where you went to Italy, and you were asking people how many screens are in this place.
Exactly.
It was like they had like a screen on like every 2 feet. I think it was quite the setup they had there.
Yes, because they create games, and it takes about, I think they have 10 or 12 employees, and so each employee has, you know, a phone, so that's a screen, and so as a game, before the website went live, we said how many screens, and we didn't even know how many screens there were. So we, carried the camera through the place and counted all the screens, and somebody had guessed the right number. I don't remember what it was right now, but yeah, we played many YouTube games like that, and there are actually those YouTube games are the most fun. I love doing those games more than even the website itself.
Wow.
They're great.
All right, so speaking of the website, let's back up a little bit for the people that might not be familiar about what dash.red is. It's a game site, correct? Can you give us
Correct.
like an overview of that site and what your goals are with it?
Yes, the goal is really simple. It's to promote Dash. That's the goal. We want Dash to be the first and best cryptocurrency for users around the world, and especially in Latin America. We're targeting people who speak Spanish and Portuguese. Why? Because I live in Latin America. I'm in Medellin, Colombia, and so it just happens to be our target. And we're reaching people in other places just by coincidence, but our target is Latin America. So the website offers 9 different games that people can play. And they're games in which in every time you play one, you have the opportunity to win some Dash. You could lose some Dash. It is possible if you are unlucky that you lose. But pretty much if you just keep playing long enough, you will have enough Dash to withdraw the funds that you have won. And of course, there are limits. It's not just an open, take all you can get. The website is configured currently to pay between 50 and 60,000 duffs per day to each user for playing games from between 2.5 to 4 hours, something like that.
Okay, so it's kind of like an ingenious faucet. You get people there and they have to play the games in order to win. It's not just like, okay, put your address here and press the button and you got your coins. So
yeah, the truth of the matter is it's a faucet, but it has something that I think is really, really unique. And that is, if you look at other faucet websites, they have run into the problem that Bitcoin transactions are wildly expensive. And so even work at all, they have to find a way of accumulating the Satoshis because it's Bitcoin, right? They have to find a way of accumulating them kind of off-site. So you go to these faucets and you do whatever the activity is to get your Satoshis. And then they have to use services which will allow someone to accumulate Satoshis off-site. And then you go to this other site and say, I done all of these things in 10 different websites. How much do I have? And, if you have like $3, well, then they can't even send it to you. So you have to wait until you have, I don't know. I don't even know how they work because it's not our problem.
Right.
I don't do those things. I'm more concerned with our ability, and I think it's absolutely amazing. 50,000 Duff transactions to over 600 people every single day.
Nice.
I mean, it's incredible. And we don't even charge the clients for that because we can make those transactions at such a low cost. In fact, I think a lot of people in the Dash community don't even know that you can make transactions for free. You can configure your wallet so that your transactions cost you nothing. Now, will they always be nothing? No. But so if you make 10 transactions and 8 of them cost nothing and 2 of them cost a very minimal fee, maybe you get 10 transactions for the equivalent of a couple of cents, something like that. Okay, it's not free, but boy, is it ever close. And that's exactly how dash.red works. We have our wallet configured in the free transaction range. And so we can do 650 transactions for the equivalent of, I don't know, maybe it's $2 a day or something like that. It's so low, it doesn't even matter.
Edward,
Doesn't,
my phone's lighting up with miners saying, "Hey, cut that. They don't want to know that. They don't want to know that they can
but the
move two
truth of the
transactions."
matter is that miners also get paid through the inflation rate. So the coin itself has inflation, and Dash's inflation rate is reduced by 7% per year, as opposed to Bitcoin, which goes through a halving every 4 years, which is a drastic change. Dash was set up just right. It's a small reduction every year. Perfect. Just wow, another yes. so miners have nothing to worry about.
No, no. Over time, the miners will be fine, I'm sure, even with only earning 45%. So your website, is it catered just to Spanish people, or can English people play? And are other languages in the works to be added as well, or how is that going to work?
Well, starting with language. First of all, with a very minimal amount of English, anyone can use the website. Anybody, and by the way, even if you don't speak English, you can still use the website. It's pretty easy to figure out. The website is in 3 languages. It's in English, Spanish, and Portuguese. In terms of the games and the explanation of how to use the website for the gaming, the 3 languages are equal. There is a blog on top of that. So the website offers a very nice blog. We concentrate in Spanish on the blog simply because it's the easiest language for us to work in. But we also have articles in Portuguese and in English. So currently we have 3 articles in English. We probably have about 8 or 9 in Spanish. I don't remember. And in Portuguese, I believe we have 3.
Okay.
And that also exceeds our proposal. So we had said in our proposal that we were going to produce a certain number. Don't ask me at the moment what that was, but in each language, we set ourselves goals because we want the people who vote on our proposal to realize, you know, we're not just doing any old thing and whatever happens, happens. We set very specific goals for ourselves. And we say, these are the things that we're going to complete. And we make sure that we meet all of those goals, because the next time that they vote, we want to be able to say, okay, we met our goals in the last proposal, so here's the new proposal.
Okay, you're a very responsible proposal owner in the sense that you keep the Masternode owners informed with a series of videos with your Masternode updates. But for the purposes of this video, can you just give us like a general overview of how the initial results you've seen and the feedback you've gotten?
Well, it's amazing. I can't even believe how much the website has grown, and also I'm a little bit surprised that it's survived, because if you look at the traffic that we have today compared to the traffic that we had in the first month, we almost always have at least 150 users logged in and playing games at any time, 24 hours a day. Highest, or the peak times, I should say, are Colombian, or I should say, Latin America generally, in the late afternoon and the evening is when we have the highest times. Last night, as a matter of fact, the database crashed. No, I mean, it did. And so we upgraded the database for the first time in over a month. We've gone through many upgrades, but last night we upgraded the database, which means that using a hosting service, and so they charge per cores that we use, and I think we went from 8 cores to 16 cores on the database. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Wow.
But hey, we're doing I mean, that database is rocking and rolling 24 hours a day. That's what I can say. It's going like crazy. So fortunately, I worked very hard in databases for a number of years. It happens to be my specialty, is database administration. And I'm telling you, that thing is rocking. So,
good news. Good news.
Yeah, I mean, we have met and exceeded our goals in every way possible, and I'm very, very proud of the work that we have done. And I want to say we, because I also want to include some other people, because our team has grown. It's, of course, me and Paula, and Paula's my wife. She does all of the administrative work. And then we have Louisa, who's working on our articles, and she has now taken on the Facebook administration because we're doing Facebook. And Davi in Brazil is now working with us. Davi has his own YouTube channel, which is very successful. And he asked if he could join our team. And after working with him, just kind of, he was making videos about our website. And he would contact me all the time and say, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? And he always got the correct information before he did the things that he did. And so I said, yeah, this is the right kind of person to work with. And of course, he speaks Portuguese. And so we're working now with Davi quite a bit. And yeah, we're really pleased. We're growing and growing step by step.
Okay, well, it sounds like a good outlet to develop Dash Nation down in Latin America, and it's a very key market with some countries that are experiencing devaluation in their currencies. It would be great to get people into Dash and spread the word down there and having fun. That's all what Dash Nation's all about, isn't it? Changing the world and having fun at the same time. So you're doing great with that. So what are some of your more popular games down there in the dash.red?
Okay, it's amazing, but I think the most, there's kind of two games that, three, I should say. We have a soccer game that is wildly popular, and there are people who go to the website only to play the soccer game. They really don't care about any other game but that goofy soccer game, which is nice. We have a game called Bionic Race, which is a racing game where a little character runs and collects the coins through a maze of obstacles. And that's a great game that is also very popular. And finally are the slot machine games. People just love those slot machine games. And we have 4 of them, and they're really high quality slot machine games with music and sound effects. Absolutely outstanding games. So I would say those are the most popular, but there are 2 other games. One of them is Olaf, and the other one is Snake Attack. They are also very popular. I'm not going to say they're not, but I think the first 3 I mentioned are the most popular.
All right. So I saw on YouTube that you ran into some security issues with, whenever you have free of anything, you're going to have people that are going to try to take advantage of it. So can you give us an indication of what it is that you faced and how you dealt with it?
Well, we actually, we have security on the website. We have quite a bit of security today that was all developed because of hackers. Hackers, in fact, the very first hack that we had was absolutely the best thing that ever happened, because right after we opened up the website, somebody from the Ukraine went in and took all of the coins out of the wallet immediately, just like in 10 minutes. Boom, took them all. And it was great. It was great because I was able to analyze his traffic and figure out some solutions. And also I contacted him and thanked him because, you find a security hole like that, thank you so much. And so in talking with him, he was able to develop some scripting that was able to attack the website at the moment that I wanted him to do it. And I paid him money to attack the website. And so by doing that, we got a certain level of security right off the bat that it would have cost 100 times more had we worked with security professionals that do that as a specialty. Working with a hacker, and he was so good to us. He was so good. Just, look, I know that I can do this. Let me show you what I can do, that kind of thing. First one. Now, we have another one recently, a young man from Brazil, or Senor Fuckwart, which I think is the funniest name ever. But anyway, video that showed how he can attack the website. Some modifications software that he developed. And his video is so funny. I just thought it was the funniest thing in the world because yeah, you can do that, but then guess what? Because of the first attacker, we already set in parameters that say, you know, if you play like that, the website knows that you're sending it information that's not valid. And it just says, all it does is it just ignores it, like a flag in a table that says, you know, red flag, this guy's hacking. And so when it comes time to withdraw, if you have enough of those red flags in the security table, you can't withdraw. The only way to withdraw is to contact me, security table, and I determine whether or not it's a big problem. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. In fact, we're really lenient because we just don't want to, we don't want people to be angry. We just want them to enjoy the website. So even when they're abusing the website, we tend to be generous. The funny thing though is the people who create multiple accounts. That there's nothing in the website that stops a person from creating multiple accounts. So we've had to find ways to determine when that has happened. And it looks as though the website is defenseless. I mean, if you just go and look at it, it appears to be defenseless in that area. Trust me when I tell you, it is not. It is very good at finding people who create multiple accounts. Sometimes it's too good. It's just too good because, for example, a guy will create an account for himself and then, you know, good old mom wants to play the game. So he creates the account for his mother, and by doing it, bammo, they're blocked, both of them, because, you know, because the website knew that it wasn't a different computer. Even though it's the same IP, we don't really care too much about IPs. We started out caring about it, but now it's not the best way to go. There's other ways that we found that are more effective.
My favorite part of that video was the guy who was standing right in front of the soccer net, and the ball comes down, he just kicks it into the net.
Yes, that was great.
Awesome.
Yes. The hacker who created the soccer ball falling, and then the guy just kicks it in, falls in, kicks it in, falls, kicks it in. And it looks like he's going to just, you know, collect 1 million dash in 10 minutes or something. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work.
I'll link to the videos in the description below so you can see it. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
so I'm going to admit to you, I've never visited the site. So what would be my process if I come to the site as a first-time user? Can you walk me through the login process?
Yeah, it's really easy because all you need to put into the website is a username and a password. It asks you for an email, but it's optional. You can't withdraw unless you have a confirmed email, but you can start using the website without it. Go and there's a button on the front of the page that says play. So you click the button, and of course if you don't have an account, you can't play. So what does it do? It drops you into the area of creating an account. So you create the account, and then the first game that you play is a game called Wheel of Fortune, and it's the reason why you have to play that is because it will fund your account with some duffs. And once you have the duffs in your account, you'll be able to play all of the other games. And the other games cost a little bit, but they have the easy potential of earning more than what they cost. So for example, I mean, a slot machine, they're the easiest slot machines in the whole world because they pay. So
the only casino where the player has the house advantage.
Exactly. You easily have the house advantage, and as a matter of fact, we've adjusted the games, we've configured them very precisely because we don't want it to be, you know, you show up and in 5 minutes you can withdraw. It can't be that easy. But on the other hand, we don't want one user to take up so much time on the database that nobody else can. So there has to be a balance, and we found that a good balance is between 2.5 and 4 hours. I think there are some people who can go in and play certain games, especially football, who've been able to learn how to really play that game really well, and they're able to probably withdraw a little bit quicker than others. But that's okay. I mean, that's all within the parameters.
So there is a skill level involved in some of these games too. It's not purely luck.
Exactly. They're not all games of chance. 4 of them are games of skill, and 5 of them are games of chance.
Sounds good. So let's go to your personal life in the area around you. How do you feel that cryptocurrency and Dash is being accepted in your area? Do you find there's more of a buzz on the street, or is it pretty much the same as it always been? What's the experience down there?
No, the difference is in just, I think a year ago, you know, I made that video saying, hey, does anybody want one Dash? And no one said anything. Now, these meetups, and in the first 2 or 3 meetups, pretty much nobody showed up. Well, I can't say that's totally true. In Pereira, no, nobody showed up. We only had 3 people who showed up. But in our last one, we didn't put anything on Facebook. We didn't put anything. It was by invitation only, because we already knew that we had 10 people who were definitely interested. And in my own personal dealings with the meetups, and we love to do the meetups, but I like them small. Small means between 10 and 15 people. In Bogota with 31 people, and we had to break the groups into 3 because you can't talk. I just can't talk to a group of 31 people in a Starbucks. You just can't do it. And so that's how we did it in Bogota, and it was a success. And we love the meetups, and we're going to keep doing them because it's a lot of fun. But it's incredible the difference in a year. People are talking about cryptocurrency all of the time, and it blows my mind. We have a friend in Pereira, which is where we had the least successful meetup. He owns a very large business called Compu de Mano, and he is buying Dash to sell there, and he's telling us about his success in selling Dash. He's selling probably around 20 Dash in a month, I'm guessing. And maybe in the United States that doesn't sound like a lot, but believe me, in Pereira, Colombia, that's a huge number. It's really big because the salary in Colombia, I mean, the annual, or I should say monthly salary is probably around, I think the minimum is probably around $300, I'm guessing. So yeah, I mean, that's a large sum in Colombia. Very, very large. And already asked us if we could do a meetup in his business where he has got a classroom where he does training for people to do computers. And so we're looking at doing one probably in January or February, which is going to be amazing because that'll be the first time that we do one that's in kind of a classroom setup as opposed to a coffee shop. And that actually reminds me, because that's worth mentioning about our last proposal, is we're working on a certificate, which will be a piece of paper that we can give to people in our meetups, get to the website, and immediately receive some Dash from the website, which will allow us to generate paper as opposed to paper wallets. Because paper wallet, you know what, that's going to get stuck in a drawer. I never actually have the wallet. Whereas this will force them to become a member of dash.red website. It'll force them to withdraw from the website, and they'll have to install a wallet in order for that to happen. So we'll be able to accomplish a lot of goals with that certificate. And that's in the works. My plan is to have it available by the 1st of January. So it might take till the 7th of January, who knows? But it's in the first week of January, we should have our first certificate for testing. And we're also going to be using those in our promotions through YouTube and Facebook, where we can send someone a PDF of the certificate and say, take it to the website and get your Dash right there. It's going to be awesome.
Okay. Are there any plans
Very
to
exciting.
add? Yeah, I bet. Is there any plans to add any more games to the website, or this is it for the time being?
Well, working on a game that will pay more. So if we can continue with funding through the next year or so, we hope that we'll be able to create a game that will actually pay an interesting amount, say $100. It needs to fit in our security model, and that's the part that we've been kind of juggling in our mind. Because suppose it paid $1 dash, it's way too much, and the website would just be swamped with security problems. So if we keep it low, we can pay more players, we could have more winners. So it'd be easier to win, but it would be more than just a little tiny bit each day, which is currently our model. We'd like to add that to the website, and I think we're going to start working on that game in January.
Okay, this has been a very informative interview. Thanks for coming on. Is there anything else that you would like to add before we let you go?
Yeah, sure. A couple of things. First of all, last week, the Latin American Bitcoin and Blockchain Conference in Bogota, and we met Rodrigo from Dash Dinero Digital of Brazil, and we met Eugenia from Dash Caracas. And wow, what can I say, but what a great event that was. And I think that we did an amazing job of representing Dash and talking to people who are interested in Dash throughout Latin America. And I hope that next year we will get some core team members to participate in the Latin American Bitcoin and Blockchain Conference. I know that Evan Duffield has been to that event before, and I really, really hope that somebody from core team will go next year. And I think next year it's going to be in Santiago, Chile. We are going to Acapulco in February. And so we really look forward to that, and we hope to meet other members of the Dash community in Acapulco. So I don't know if you're going there. It's in Mexico. But if you are, we'll be meeting you and other people in the Dash community. So that's very exciting. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, sounds like a great invitation. How do people get a hold of you if they want to get in contact with you for any reason?
The easiest way to contact me is actually through the Contact Us form on the website, because that is our link to customer service, and all of those emails are read. And so just go to the website. Down at the bottom of the front page is a Contact Us link, and just click that and you can send me an email. It comes directly to my email. So I'm the one who responds and I'm the one who reads it. That's the best way.
Okay. And on Discord, you're dash.red, and on YouTube, you're also dash.red, right?
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for being on the show. It was great to have you on.
Okay, Tao. Thank you.
I wish you all the best, and I hope to maybe go to that conference. I don't know, but if I do, I'll definitely see you there. But if not, I definitely look forward to meeting you in person one day, because I love your attitude. You're a great representative for Dash Nation, and I wish you the best and a lot of luck in the future.
Thank you, Tao.
Cheers. Well, that's all for me today. I hope you enjoyed that interview. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and click the bell if you want to see more from me and Cash Alternative TV episodes. Remember, until next time, Dash is a digital alternative to cash, and becoming more so every day. Bye for now.
Cash Alternative.